Go live. We are live. Hello and welcome to Cricket Adda Presents Wrong One Episode 2. Joining me on this weekly cricket podcast is Kevin once again. It was supposed to be weekly. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it last week. And we couldn't make it last Sunday as well because a certain Ben Stokes was playing the innings of his life. Probably was playing the innings of his life. Unfortunately, it turned out that England still lost the test match. And I think we should straight away dive into the topics. Before that, just a special mention for our sponsor, Tropicana Orange Juice. I don't know why I said that, but I think Tropicana Orange Juice at some point in their life would regret that they are not sponsoring this special cricket podcast. Wrong one. I don't know what I'm talking about, but let's move on to the cricket topics. And Ashes is going well and truly it's going strong. It's 2-0 in the favor of Australia. Australia coming on in the winning side once again as Pat Cummins and his team defeated England by 49 runs. What could have been a bigger margin, but Ben Stokes reduced it to 49. But before we talk about the cricket, it's important that we talk about the spirit of cricket because cricket is not important anymore. It's spirit of cricket. Kevin, straight away, let's dive into the main issue of the week. Johnny Bairstow and his dismissal. I mean, what's the fuss about? It's clear out. He was roaming around the crease, roaming outside the crease. Alex Carey threw the ball. It hit the stumps. If you're outside the crease, you're out. That's it. End of debate. What is all these Englishmen are crying about? Could you please explain what's exactly happening? Why is Ben Stokes saying that I would have withdrawn the appeal? Why is Brendan McCullum saying that I won't share a beer? Is that because he has less money? I don't know what he's talking about, but I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Johnny Bairstow is crying. Stuart Broad said that it's the worst thing that he has seen on the cricket field. Uh, I think he's forgetting the fact that he himself didn't walk when he edged one to Michael Clark at first slip in the 2013 Ashes. So, Kevin, please explain me because the last 2 days I have been like it's going over my head. What is the fuss about, Kevin?
I think it just seems a matter of sour grapes, because if you see the way of Johnny Besto was dismissed, so it just goes to show that Australia were quite alert, especially Carey, because I think as the broadcaster brought it to everyone's notice that he was doing it on a repeated basis, and you can understand Johnny Besto because he has the habit of wandering down the crease. So I think he took things for granted, and the very fact that it wasn't like that he started walking after the bowler turned to the umpire to take his cap off, and the fielder started to switch. It was all in one motion, so I think it was pretty fair. I don't think the spirit of cricket should have the topic should have been brought into picture at all, because it wasn't like some of the dismisses like we see in Mankad. We've seen sometimes the bowlers wait for the batsman to go out of the crease and then you try to dismiss him off. So it wasn't like that kind of a dismissal. It was all in one action. As soon as Carey got hold of the ball in one motion, he broke the stumps down. And talking about, I think it was, I think it brought the game into a little bit of like it kind of like into battle light, especially with what happened with the MCC members and the criticism that some of the English supporters are giving the Australians. I don't think anything was any malice was there in that. And also talking about whether Pat Cummins should have withdrawn the appeal or no, like uh, it's a very subjective kind of topic. I've always noticed that most of the cricketers have shown the spirit of cricket only when they are on the upside. If you say, I think the only time I can recall an Englishman showing the spirit of cricket was when Andrew Strauss he recalled Angelo Matthews when this is back in 2009 Champions Trophy when Angelo Matthews hit a ball towards mid wicket and he was trying to sneak in a second run and he bumped into into Graham Onions, and he just stopped on the crease to make it to because he knew he was nowhere going to reach it. And because Sri Lanka were very far behind in that game, Strauss said he didn't want to win the game in that particular style. That's one instance that I can recall. But besides that, I don't think England has always been on the wrong side of this, because we remember an incident with when McCullum ran out Paul Collingwood, and this is exactly, I think, within 6 months after Collingwood as captain, he refused to give Grant Elliott an opportunity again when Ryan Sidebottom bumped into him, and the game was getting very tense. Fortunately, New Zealand won that game and the series. But yeah, so these are instances. I think it's I think it's I think MCC has to make their laws a bit stricter, because we often try to contradict what the spirit of the game is with the laws of the game, and it's I think umpires need to have a much more bigger say in these matters, because you don't want every decision, like if in case the umpire had given that, so the umpire had already given it out, then it makes no sense for the on-field umpires to ask the captain whether they want to go and appeal or go ahead with that appeal. So it's stupidity, because once a decision is made, I don't think the captain should be allowed whether to withdraw their appeal as well, because then it brings both the umpires also into disrepute, and as well as the captains in bad light. So I think we need some stricter laws, and we need to draw lines somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the English cricket team draws the line based on their convenience because, as you said, when they want, they will talk about spirit of cricket. I mean, the video is going viral where Johnny Bairstow tried the exact same thing on the third day of the same Test match against Marnus Labuschagne when he was trying to roam around outside the crease. So, I mean, it is hypocrisy at its best because if we do it, it's fine, but if the others do it, then it's not. It's not in the spirit of the game. That doesn't make absolute sense. And as you said, the thing with the crowd, I mean, that was absolutely shambolic, to keep it, to say it in KP's words, absolutely shambolic, because you pay a hell lot of money to get into Lords as an MCC member, and then you're treating Aussie cricketers the way they treated them. I mean, I don't know what was said and all, but I think three MCC members have been banned by ICC, which is the right way to go about it, because that's not something which you want to see on a cricket field or even outside the cricket field, especially in the Lord's long room, which has such a rich history and heritage as well. But at the same time, you mentioned that there are a couple of videos going viral when Brendan McCallum did it to Paul Collingwood. So I mean, it doesn't make much of a sense for Ben Stokes to come and say that I would have withdrawn the appeal, because I mean, it's Pat Cummins' choice, as you said, and he did the right thing. He wanted the wicket of Johnny Bairstow. He got the wicket of Johnny Bairstow, and it is absolutely in the laws of the game to get a batter out in that way. Apart from that, I would say that it was very, very smart work from Alex Carey, because as you said, Sky showed that package where he was roaming around the crease, outside the crease on the previous two balls as well, and then Carey saw that, just threw the ball, hit the stumps, gets the wicket of Johnny Bairstow. I think that was the game changing moment as well, because a 50-60 run partnership there between Bairstow and Stokes. The target could have been under 100, and then you never know, because Stokes like just turned the switch on after that. Now let's move on to cricket, if you don't want to add anything else on this, Kevin.
No, I think we can proceed further, because
Yeah.
it just
Yeah,
seems a
so yeah,
topic of
talking about the cricket, I think Australia has been too strong, and I think it's their batting as well as the bowling. The batting, you could obviously say that Smith is back in form, as in he was always in form. He just missed out in the first test, scored 100 in the WTC final, scored another 100 in this test match as well. I think 32nd test century for Steve Smith. That's absolutely fantastic. The test great of this generation. And then Travis Head chipping in, David Warner scoring a 66. 400 was always going to be difficult for England. Having said that, they were in a great position at 188 for 1 before the short ball barrage started. And I think it was somewhere down the line England would regret that they kept playing their shots. I don't know. I mean, that's the way they go about it, but I would like your thoughts on this, Kevin, because 188 for 1, they were going pretty good. You expect at least 388, 400 from that position, 200 more runs with 9 wickets in hand. But that wasn't the case. They fell short by around 91 runs in the first inning. So, your thoughts on that short ball barrage where Australia suddenly understood that there is nothing in the pitch, let's go short, and they got like wickets for free, it seems.
I think England need to rethink their strategies, because they're not reacting to the situation. So baseball makes sense when you have the fielders up in. If you're playing, if the opposition has their they play the traditional kind of cricket, pitch it in good length positions and you have the field up, and then you play your attacking shots. It makes much more sense. Now what has happened is with Australia reacting to the way England is playing their kind of cricket by having the field opened up. So all the good shots that the English cricketers are going to play, you're just going to get a single. You're just basically rotating a strike. And if you're not, so you're with that kind of game, you're going to play like, let's say 20 shots to score around maybe a 25 or a 30. Okay, as compared to what you were going to do, you as compared to getting a 50-60 with those 20 shots. So so I think the risk now is has been much more. So I felt it was needless. They already had, with the fields open up, I think England could have tried to tire out the Aussie bowlers. I don't think the Aussie bowlers have bowled more than 100 overs in an innings. If you could just check that. So it just shows that the English
Yeah, you're
bowlers.
right on that. You're right on that. England haven't played more than 100 overs in any
Yeah,
of
so
the
England have,
innings.
it just shows they had just one opportunity to get to 400 runs. They didn't capitalize. Since then, in the next three innings, they've not even crossed 350. Okay, and and that's bad. They had a chance in the first innings of the second test when they were 188 for one. They could have grinded out Australia, but they threw their wickets off. I think someone has to be very critical of the way Zach Crawley has been throwing his wickets, because he's got out on nothing shots. Ben Duckett was really good in this test match, but I thought that with the form that he was in, he could have capitalized a lot more. So he's not taken his opportunities. Even Brook, for that matter, has not made the most of his opportunities as well. And Stokes was struggling, but he made a good comeback in the final innings. But if you look at the final innings, it just showed the amount of effort that took him to get to 155 with the field, with the kind of bowling that was the lengths that they were bowling, lines, also with all the fielders back on the ground. He had to be really good with his shot selection, and he had to be very good with his execution as well. And with all those things clicking, he was able to get those scores. And this is something that a player like of even Joe Root's class can be expected to do. But I don't think none of the other English batsmen are capable enough to convert. So I think they have to, because they have to rethink their strategies, because it's taking a toll on their bowlers. And I don't think with I think another 2 days. I think the next test is tomorrow, day after tomorrow. In 2 days, the next test is going to start. I cannot see how these bowlers are going to continue, because towards the fag end of the test match, you could see the speeds dropping down. So and even the shoulders as well. So I think they need to think about it. They have to play a bit smart, because unlike this isn't Australia where they are losing by close margins. This is back in their home. This is back in their own conditions, where instead of winning matches, now they are kind of losing close matches. So I think they need to figure out what's happening. Uh, I think there are going to be changes. I am hoping to see Mark Wood come back in. Maybe Chris Wokes can step in place of Anderson, because he's just got 3 wickets in 2 games. I don't think he's looked threatening enough, and maybe getting Wokes in might help them get some good runs. If you see even the tail of the Australian cricketers, they've scored runs as well. It's something that the English cricketers have not been able, the English bowlers have not been able to even provide them with. So I think I think it'll be impressive to see if England can at least get 2 victories out of the next 3 tests. I don't think they can win the series with the way they're played, because yeah, they've just neutralized their advantage in trying to cover up their weaknesses, and it's not worked. And a team like Australia, which doesn't have that many, their only weakness was actually Warner, which by having these flat tracks has been neutralized. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, interesting points, and I think England definitely missed an opportunity there because Nathan Lyon couldn't bowl from the third day onwards, and then obviously even in the first innings they could have scored a bit more, and obviously in the fourth innings they had a chance to like tire out the Aussie bowlers, as you kept saying, because it was pace from both ends on most of the occasions. Travis had bowled, I think, just a handful of overs, around 4 or 5 overs, so definitely they could have missed Nathan Lyon if England could have batted better. Definitely a missed opportunity there. But as you said, the changes which I expect for the next game, I think Mark Wood should come in, but I'm not sure in place of whom. Either James Anderson, but if you want Chris Wokes, then you want to replace James Anderson with Chris Wokes. So that's something which they need to think about. I think maybe they can replace Ollie Robinson as well, because he has looked like he has bowled. He has blown hot and cold, so you're not quite sure what to expect from him. He is not like express pace. You want Anderson to play at Manchester Old Trafford, which is his home ground. He has his own end, I think, and stand as well. So I think I expect Anderson to play there. Next match is at Headingley Leeds, so I expect Anderson to be rested or dropped, whatever the word is. And as you said, either Wokes or Wood comes in. And for Australia, I think you can see just that one change where Todd Murphy will replace Nathan Lyon. In fact, for England today, the news coming in is that Ollie Pope, the vice captain, is also injured. I think Kevin messaged me saying Dan Lawrence will replace him, which is the obvious choice because they don't have any other batter in the squad as well. Apart from that, Johnny Bairstow needs to step up because they have like dropped Ben Foakes for Johnny Bairstow, and he hasn't like had a significant score so far in this Ashes. I mean, 150 in the first innings, but that's not enough when you're Johnny, and you can't keep walking outside the crease, because that's the best of the memes I've seen, that Johnny Walker keep walking. And he kept walking towards the pavilion because he was given out. But all in all, I think England need to step up and like put up a better performance in the next test, because if they lose the next test, Kevin is predicting it would be 5-0. What do you think, Kevin? Just quickly on the next three tests, and especially the next test, how important it is for Australia, for England.
I think it's going to be important for England because I expect a few fresh faces to come in. Because why we're predicting 5-0 is because England don't have backups. So, and because they haven't tired out the Aussie bowlers as much, these bowlers are going to be pretty fresh as compared to the English quartet of bowlers. So I think that's a main thing to factor in, because you have not heard any of these topics on rotation policy as well, because English batsmen, they've actually gifted their wickets on quite a lot of occasions. So, like in case even if the Aussie bowlers were bowling the short ball, Barish, I think the England batsmen could have been smart and they could have just worn out that spell. There's no need to. I can understand the ball that Root got. He tried to fend it off. That was a really good ball that kicked up. But I think the some of the other shots, like I think Brook missing that ball from Cummins, I think that's inexcusable. Even the short ball that Duckett got, lost his wicket on 98. I think that could have been avoided. Even that catch of the catch that Stark took of, I think it was Cam Green. Yes, I think that also could have been avoided. So I think they need to be smart, because if you're the very fact that you have forced Australia to bowl short balls, it just goes to show that their plan A is not working. But by throwing your wickets to them, you've actually ensured that their other plans are succeeding. So I think they could have just hung in there and maybe just tried to take it as deep as possible. But let's see. So yeah, fingers crossed. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Moeen Ali, whether he's going to come in. I don't think he's required, because from a batting perspective, he's not been convincing enough. And you can't have Crawley, Dan Lawrence, Harry Brook, and Moeen Ali in your top seven, kind of like, because they are just going to give you cute 2030s. So
Unfortunately, cute word is banned on this podcast. You can
so they're
use
going to
another word.
just give you attractive
Yeah,
30,
yeah, that
40s, which
makes
are
sense.
going to
That
give you
makes
good
sense.
enough.
That makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Just to put like the rules out there, we don't have many rules, but just one rule that the cute word is banned on the podcast for obvious reasons. But moving moving on to the next topic, I think the Ashes is going to get hotter and spicier as Ben Stokes comes at the toss for the next match. But I think one of the best replies was by Pat Cummins in the press conference, where he was asked, "Would you see mankading and underarm bowling in the upcoming Test matches?" And he said, "Depends on how flat the pitches become," which is a great response. At the same time, in the post match presentation as well, he was asked about. The commentator said that Ben Stokes said that he would have withdrawn the appeal, and Pat Cummins just came and said, "Okay," where he's like, "No, I mean." it didn't make sense to withdraw the appeal. He wanted the wicket of Johnny Bairstow. They got the wicket of Johnny Bairstow. But yeah, moving on to another big news of the last 10 days. I think the last 5 days is that West Indies cricket team, which is the world champions in 1975 and 1979, the first two World Cups, and played the final in 1983, won't be part of the ODI World Cup for the first time in the history of ICC Cricket World Cups. And obviously, everybody knows the World Cup is going to be played later this year in October and November in India, and the qualifiers were going on, and West Indies lost to Scotland recently, most recently, and were knocked out of the tournament. Kevin, to be fair, to be honest, I would like change that. To be honest, I didn't understand why they couldn't make the qualifiers, like why they couldn't win, because the team looked a decent side. You have Kyle Mayers, 350 plus runs in the IPL, if I'm not wrong. Nicholas Puran, another 350 plus runs in the IPL. Jason Holder has been there, done that for the last 7 to 8 years, if I'm not wrong. Akil Hussain, another fantastic cricketer. Alzari Joseph had his moments with Gujarat Titans. I don't know, five good players. You have a Shea Hope, who is one of the most consistent ODI batters. Yes, strike rate is an issue, but still he has the scoring ability in him, like the run making ability in him. Shamara Brooks, I think, was there as well. I mean, it looked like a decent side. If they missed anybody, it was just Shamron Hetmeyer. It's not like they're missing 5 to 7 big players or anything like that. And still, you couldn't win against Scotland, couldn't win against Zimbabwe, couldn't win against Ireland. I'm not sure what Netherlands. Sorry, not Ireland. Netherlands. They lost the super over there where Jason Holder got smacked for 30 runs in a super over. I mean, it can't get worse than that. How can you get smacked 30 in a super over, Kevin? Like, if you have any answers, because I didn't understand what happened exactly with West Indies. The team looked decent, but still couldn't win a lot of games.
I think it's a wrong angle to view this particular loss because we're looking at it from a very selfish and only uh, you can say from a very small uh, you can say peephole. It's not about the downfall of West Indies cricket. It's about the rise of the other associate countries. And I think if you go to see, we've seen these particular countries doing really well. I think back around 2019, 2020, I think Scotland also they chased 350 against England and handed them their
Yeah,
first.
they win that game, or they just
Yes,
came
of course,
close?
yes, they did. Yes, they
Yeah,
did. I
I
think
think they
that's
didn't chase it. They scored 370 batting
oh
first, and
yes,
then England couldn't
yes,
chase
yes.
it. I
They
think. Yeah,
defended. They
yeah,
defended.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Also, Ireland, I had you kind of like beat them in the 2015 World Cup. We saw, yeah. So yeah, I think this the qualifier concept itself is should be. I think it's not right because these countries are doing really well. They're playing and they play. Some of the players actually do get the option to play in overseas leagues, so that's helping them develop their skills. I think if there, for that matter, if there was a if Afghanistan or Bangladesh was also playing, I think these teams would have surprised them as well. So I think it's a wrong way to look at it because someone or the other, you have how many countries that are playing this? I think 12 countries were actually a part of this qualifier,
Yes, yes, yes.
and from
Six,
there
six,
you're
six.
just
Yeah.
going to allow two countries to play the main event. So I think that's very
Yes.
selfish. So
I mean,
someone or the other had to miss
that's
out.
a debate for another day. I think we will have that debate when there is like less cricket around, whether or we can do that like around the World Cup, where the World Cup is closer. We will definitely have that debate. I will get a 4 member panelist, and we will have that debate where we will discuss whether a 10 team World Cup or a 12 team World Cup or a 14 team World Cup should be played, and should these associate nations, as you said, Scotland, Ireland, Zimbabwe, all should make it to the World Cup. That's something which we would discuss. But at the moment, I mean, it's unfortunate that West Indies won't
Yes,
make
it's
the World Cup.
unfortunate because they had all their good players. It was I think only
Yeah,
Simran Hetman who
Shamron
missed out,
Hetmeyer is the only player
and
is
I
missing,
don't
is
think
what I believe.
the games I followed some of the games. I don't think they threw their wickets or they bowled poorly. It was just that the opposition was pretty good enough,
Yeah, makes
and
sense.
yes, and you can't argue much because there's not of there you don't have a lot of analysis against these weaker teams because nobody
Correct,
plays them. You
correct.
don't have that
Yeah,
much data. So they're just
yeah.
caught by surprise, and I think it's good for the game of cricket that we have uh, you that you have such kind of you can say incidents, because it kind of like brings you can say brings more notice to what's happening. And I think post that, a lot of viewers are actually going to follow the qualifiers, because I think after that we saw Netherlands and Sri Lanka, when Netherlands almost scared Sri Lanka, but Sri Lanka proved to be the better team. So I think yes, going forward, I think let's see what whether Dan Sami holds Toronto's position. I don't know who's making the calls, who takes these calls. Is the board uh, kind of like in full authority, or is it, or the players association also has kind of like some kind of power in that? But I think, let's see, I think they need a good captain. I think this was all started since Jason Holder was sacked for no reason, and we've seen West Indies cricket has dropped down.
Yeah,
Let's
that
see.
that makes absolute sense because
So
Jason Holder was
I
like a
think we
really
have
good
to
captain.
identify
Yeah.
a good captain, and I think from there they can just I think they just be back.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Moving on to the next, I mean, let's just continue with the qualifiers. I think Sri Lanka has already qualified, and India are going to play Sri Lanka on the 2nd of November at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. So, probably the repeat of an ICC 2011 World Cup final. Obviously, the strength of the Sri Lankan team is not that great, but having said that, you never underestimate the Sri Lankan spinners. They have one into Hasaranga, and they have a few good batters in Dhananjaya De Silva, and like there are a few good batters there. I don't know if the
If I
Dinesh
recall
Chandimal is.
correctly, I think did Sri Lanka beat India back in the 2017 Champions Trophy, or was it the 20?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was the 2017 Champions Trophy where they chased 320, 330. I think it was Kusal Mendis and Gunatilaka, if I'm not
is
wrong.
he still in Australia?
I think I mean I don't know. As you said, he was caught for like doing something wrong, and then he couldn't leave Australia. So I don't know. He has had a lot of issues. So I don't think he's around the team anymore. But definitely, Kusal Mendes is one of the top players. Like he is extremely talented. You have that Avishka Fernando. I like that guy, and then Dhananjay De Silva is one of my favorite like cricketers because he's a very good utility cricketer. He can like bat, bowl, and fields good as well. But yeah, Sri Lanka will play India. They are the first team qualified, and I think Zimbabwe will be the second team that will qualify, even though it's not confirmed yet. But that's what we are looking at as the October November World Cup countdown begins. We have the schedule announced as well for the World Cup, and I think India plays Australia in Chennai, India plays England in Lucknow, and India plays Pakistan, obviously, at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. And if you want tickets, please contact Kevin at 999 999 नहीं मिलेगा नंबर, ऐसा बोल रहा था मैं। हालांकि कोई बात नहीं, अगर आपको पाकिस्तान के टिकट्स चाहिए, इंडिया पाकिस्तान, वी हैव अ फ्यू पीपल इन अहमदाबाद हु कैन गिव यू अकोमोडेशन इफ नॉट टिकट्स at cheaper prices than the hotels. Just self promoting our panelists because they also need some money. uh, Having said that, I am hoping that Tropicana Orange Juice sponsors our tickets to the ICC Cricket World Cup, T20 World Cup 2024 in West Indies and USA, because at the moment traveling to India will be more expensive than the match tickets, so we can't do that for the World Cup. Moving on to the Indian cricket team, and squads have been announced as just 8 days to go for the first test between India and West Indies, and the major squad announcements are the Test squad and the ODI squad. And talking about the test squad, the two major changes which we see is that Cheteshwar Pujara has been dropped. You have Yashasvi Jaiswal in the squad. For some reason, Ruturaj Gaikwad has made the squad. And at the same time, the discussion, the main topic is Safraz Khan is not in the squad despite scoring heavily in the Ranji seasons. In fact, even Abhimanyu Ishwaran or Priyank Panchal, who were in line, have not been picked, and it's Ruturaj Gaikwad who has jumped the queue and got in the test squad. Having said that, I think the test team is pretty much settled. You just have to replace get a batter in at number 3. It would be either Gaikwad or Jaiswal. I'm expecting Jaiswal to make his debut, being a left-hander at number 3, and then you have Kohli at 4, Rahane at 5, Jadeja at 6, KS Bharat at 7, and then 8 Ashwin, 9 Aksar if you need 3 spinners, and then 10, 11 the 2 pacers. Mohammad Shami has been rested as well. Kevin, quick thoughts on the test squad. Major talking points, obviously, Pujar and then Sarfaraz Khan, if you could just add something on that.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's a little disappointing because India just you have just dropped one player, I think, and this is not the first time that Cheteshwar Pujara has been dropped. I think he's become like the Shikhar Dhawan of this team. So anytime there's a failure and you need to drop a player, so you drop him. So it's disappointing because cannot understand why you have a Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli for this kind of series. Because the last time India played West Indies,
No, but like just quickly to add, this is part of the WTC like trophy, so you need your best players to play Test cricket all the time.
yes, I'm not disagreeing, but I think
Okay.
they could have at least had backups, because I don't think we're playing any kind of any form of cricket at this point of time. I think, and anyway, you're picking up 17, 18 players. You could have just increased the squad and you could have just identified. And then after the first match, you could have rested these guys and you could have brought in, you could have just swapped positions, because that's the only way of kind of getting in new players. Because I think this team, we've seen this same that we've seen a similar top six for quite a lot of years, and I we just have, I think, two overseas test victories to show for. And I think it would have been a good opportunity to have Hanma Vihari back in the squad as well, just because I thought he deserved his opportunities. But I think he too, because of not having a very good IPL record on his resume, has been scapegoated. Because the last time they played, I think an out of form Rahane, he got back into form by playing the West Indies, and I think he scored around 270 runs, and I think Vihari scored 289. So in case now, if
I think you're talking about the 2019 Test
2019
series.
Test series,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
I
because
think Bumrah took a hat trick in that series, if I'm not wrong. Yeah,
exactly, because
correct,
I'm
correct. Yeah,
trying to highlight the kind of opposition that you're playing.
correct.
So um, so my point is, even if you have like a Jaiswal playing the series, and even if he scores kind of like 200, 250 runs, what significance does it stand? So even
I mean, at some point you have to start with these young players, and I think this is a great opportunity.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, but so I'm just saying, ki in comparison to what Hanuma Vihari has done, and it's not like he's not getting runs in first class. So I
Mhm.
think like I can understand having Jaiswal in the side, but then if you want to play Jaiswal, you have to play him in place of one of the openers. Shouldn't be playing him at number three. So that didn't like kind of like I'm not satisfied with that, but it's okay. Like some selections, you're at least happy that at least they're going in the forward direction. Ruturaj Gaikwad, I'm surprised, because I don't recall when. I think is this his first test call up?
He's been selected for the first time in the test squad, but at the
Yeah.
same time, even I'm surprised because his first class record is not that great. There are players who have better first class records. Yes, Gaikwad has like been in terrific form in the white ball formats, whether it's List A, whether it's the IPL, whether it's the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, whether it's the uh, Vijay Hazare Trophy, but Ranji Trophy hasn't like been the top scorer even for Maharashtra, so it doesn't make sense to get Gaikwad in the squad at the moment. I think, as you said, just quick on Sarfaraz Khan. What are your thoughts on him? Yes, he wasn't convincing in the IPL. He couldn't face like high pace and all, but he has done his job in the Ranji format, isn't it? Ranji Trophy.
So I think the selectors are just trying to show that if you like, how do we have it for our engineers? If you just a bachelor's degree is not sufficient, you need a master's
Mm-hmm.
degree as well, or an MBA
Mm-hmm.
degree. Similarly, just
That's why you're
first
doing a
record.
master's degree. That's why you're doing
Yeah.
a master's degree.
So
Okay. So
similarly,
you agree with the fact that a bachelor's is not enough?
no, it's not enough. So yeah, and I think in the next 5 6 years we might require a postdoc as well.
I mean,
So
I don't have that ability now. Like that much, I can't study because this is too much for me, and I'm just waiting for the last semester to end so that I can get a job and get some money. But yeah, so okay, so you're saying that Safaraz Khan needs something more on his resume, probably a master's
exactly,
in
this is what
supply chain or something.
I think this is what they're trying to with these selections. This is what
Mm-hmm.
the selection committee has made it very clear. Like players like Priyank Panchal, Abhimanyu, and even Sarfraz Khan, if they want to get break into the test team,
Mm-hmm.
they have to have a very good for IPL record. And I can't blame these players, because no IPL side wants to pick them up.
I
Because
mean, yes, Sarfaraz Khan got picked, got
yes,
quite a few
besides Sarfraz
opportunity as well,
Khan,
but he was disappointing.
yeah, because,
It's the
and I
truth.
think
Yeah,
they confused him with the keeping thing
that's
by.
true. That's true. Yeah.
So we don't know what's happening over there, but this is, I think, the message that they've sent, and you have to be uh, that you have to have a good IPL record. And by indicating this, they are actually tried to they have actually given a very wrong message, saying that the quality of domestic cricket that we are playing is not good enough. I think
Which
that's
is, to be honest, fair to a certain extent, because anybody is coming and scoring in runs. I mean, let's be honest, Rahane scored runs, but you have to see against which oppositions he has scored runs. He hasn't
exactly.
scored runs against big teams, like whoever are the big teams in the Ranji Trophy. Rahane did score runs, but his average seems 50, but he has scored a double hundred against a weak team, and the average gets inflated, as we all know. So, I, I mean, but to be honest, Sarfaraz Khan scored runs against each and every team. He had like hundreds and almost in every match. So you can't like blame him. But you said that they need a good IPL record as well, which I'm not sure you need, because Test cricket is a different format than the IPL, because T20 is difficult. Let's be honest. Like for Test players, it's difficult. Say a Pujara can't play T20 cricket, however hard he tries, he won't be successful at this big stage of the IPL. So I think I'm not sure like whether you need to have a good IPL record. At least he deserved to be in the squad. In the 11 is something which can be talked about. He should have. I think he has to be picked in the India A sides whenever it tours, and then based on his performance in that, they can decide whether or not to give the promotion to the Indian
Yeah.
team.
Talking about that,
But
was Ruturaj Gaikwad a part of the India squad? Has he done well in that?
Gaikwad, I think, has been part of the India like test squads as well, but I'm not sure how well he has done. But last 6 to 12 months, India A hasn't toured that much. I think it was before COVID where India A tours were like very famous. You could see Prithvi Shaw and Shubman Gill and Mayank Agarwal
Yeah.
batting for India in almost all formats, and you could see they were like scoring hundreds for fun. So that was something which was like great to watch. You could see like Akshar Patel and all these players who like graduated, Mohammad Siraj, Navdeep Saini, who played for India in the Shardul Thakur, all those players, Ishan Kishan, were part of that India A squads. So yeah, moving on from the Test squad to the ODI squad, and even though it seems it's like quite predictable, the bowlers picked are very random. I don't know. Jaidev Unadkat and Mukesh Kumar getting a look into the Indian ODI squad, which makes absolutely no sense. I think we discussed this on our WhatsApp group as well. And Jaidev Unadkat, yes, he's a left armer, but Arshdeep Singh was always there. Why have you picked Jaidev Unadkat ahead of him? Jaidev Unadkat had a great Ranji season, but that doesn't mean he had a great white ball season. Even in the IPL, he didn't do anything significant. At the same time, Mukesh Kumar has a below average list A record. I think he averages 37 with the ball, which is not something which you want. So Kevin made a point that maybe they're trying to save on money because these players are on the test squad. And I question asking since when did BCCI start saving money, because they have a lot of money. Arshdeep Singh should have been in that squad. Umran Malik is in the squad, that's fine, but I don't know. Mohammad Siraj is in the squad. I think Shami has been rested. The fast bowling looks questionable there. Apart from that, the batting is pretty much what we expect. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill to open, Kohli at 3. 4 will always be open with Shreyas Iyer not available. So it's either Surya Kumar or Sanju Sams. In fact, Sanju will play because even KL Rahul is not available. So Sanju bats either 4 or 5 depending on where the team management wants him to bat. 6 you have Hardik Pandya, 7 you have Jadeja, and then 2 pacers, and then depending on how the pitch behaves, you can either go with one more spinner, Kuldeep and Aksar, and then that's something which they can decide. But yeah, fast bowlers definitely, and then who bats at 4 and 5 is the question, Kevin. The two questions which I need you to answer.
I think you have to give Sanju Samson a chance. I think maybe give him an opportunity at 5. And I think you can, if Surya Kumar Yadav has to play, you have to back him at 4. I don't think you that the concept of like what they did of pushing him to number 6 in the last ODI. I think that was not a good move, because if you think he's a good player, you have to play him at his original position. Just because you feel uh, that he's getting out quickly, and let's play him late and let us assume it's a 20 over game, and you bat after at 6 and bat the last 20 overs. I think that's not a good sign from a team management perspective. If you're good enough, then you have to bat at the position that you enjoy the most, and you have to capitalize. You have to be smart. Also, you have to I think you have to ask yourself, are you playing him for what? Are you playing him for his confidence? Are you playing him for his the reliability that gives you, or are you playing him for the entertaining cricket that he's offering you? So based on that, you have to take a call. I think if you're playing him, you have to play him on his ability. You have to have a very good conversation with him, saying that you have the skill set, you can play all the shots in the book, but you need to be wise enough and to play the situation. And that needs to be conveyed to him, because if you're having Surya Kumar Yadav, you are playing him at number 4 because you require stability. So you shouldn't be like, you pick him because he's versatile enough, and then you say, oh, he can't bat at number 4, let me optimize him by batting him at number 6, 7, and pushing Hardik Pandya to 4, and then creating a mess in your top order. So I think if India is starting the ODI series, I think for the first ODI, I would like to see Surya Kumar at 4, maybe Sanju Samson at 5, and you have Hardik Pandya 6. I don't want to see Hardik Pandya play the way he has played this IPL, kind of like reliably. I think India needs him to be more explosive, because in case if Hardik Pandya is not going to play he's not going to bowl like an all-rounder, he's not going to bat aggressively, then having him just bat at number 4, number 5 makes no sense. Instead of him, you can even consider dropping Hardik Pandya and playing an Akshar Patel, for that matter, on pitches that are going to help you.
No, I think Hardik will bowl like 4 or 5 overs. So I think Hardik has to play there at number 6, Jadeja at 7, and as you
Yes,
said, it's Surya
it's
at
a
4 and
style
Sanju
of
at
cricket
5, right?
that we're expecting from
Yeah,
Hardik Pandya.
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not,
Makes sense.
just
Yeah,
because he's done well playing the anchor and the captain role
yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
number 4.
Yeah.
I hope they don't try to promote him like they were doing this in 2017. I think in the
Yeah,
Australia series he
2017
did
he
well.
batted at 4 in that famous Australia series where he smacked Adam Zampa for like 3 sixes, back-to-back sixes. So yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. I think Surya at 4 and Sanju at 5 to start off, and then you can see on how they perform. I think it's just 3 ODIs again, which I'm not a big fan of, especially with the ODI World Cup around. You could play a 5 match ODI series, but yes, not against the West Indies, because if India lose against the West Indies, you know where it's going. I don't know. Rahul Dravid might lose his place after the World Cup if India especially don't win the World Cup, because it's like a lot of things we have lost under Rahul Dravid. It's the uh, uh, we just won the BGT, which was obviously we should have won. We won it 2-1, but we lost the fifth test against England. We lost the South Africa Test series, which we should have dominated. In fact.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about the first Test series. Rahul Dravid was coach, and after which Virat Kohli resigned as captain. I think India should have won that series, because they won the first Test convincingly, and then second and third in the second Test as well. They had a decent score on the board, but then couldn't defend. And then the fifth Test, obviously against England, which happened last year, if I'm not wrong, and then the WDC final as well, and the T20 World Cup was a disappointed. Asia Cup we couldn't qualify for the final, so there are a lot of question marks over Rahul Dravid's coaching management, coaching team and management. So yeah,
What do
uh,
you see? What do you pick up with the captaincy then? In case if you're sacking Rahul Dravid, do you even sack Rohit Sharma, for that matter?
I think it is Rohit Sharma's last World Cup as captain, because you don't see Rohit Sharma captaining after this World Cup. Even if India win it, you need to look at for a future captain, because I think it's 35, 36 if I'm not wrong. And
36.
then the next World Cup is 2027. He's definitely not going to be around for that. So you need to start finding a captain, whether it's Hardik Pandya, whether it's Rishabh Pant when he comes back, whether it's KL Rahul. That's a question. Whether it's Shubman Gill at this point of time, I'm not sure, but it is definitely Rohit Sharma's last World Cup as captain and player as well, because I don't see him playing the next World Cup.
I think
Maybe
from a
Virat.
coaching perspective, I think you have to look at how many players Rahul Dravid has brought in.
Okay, yeah.
And has there been clarity in selection, and based on that you can actually think of whether renewing his contract or no.
Okay, yeah,
Because when you consider Ravi Shastri, I think Ravi Shastri walked into an environment where I think the team was settled.
yeah,
Yes, but Rahul Dravid came in, I think, during the transition period, and I think we are going towards the transition. If you remove the coach now, I think then it's a bad it would be a bad this, because I think even Duncan Fletcher came in during our transition period,
yeah, yeah,
but then I think he was forced out, or I don't know whether he opted out.
yeah. Interesting points. We'll discuss this as we go towards the World Cup. Yeah, we are planning a special show for the World Cup as well, but this weekly podcast will keep on going. At the same time, like 8 days to go for the first test between India and West Indies, but 2 days to go for the third Ashes test between Australia and England. Australia obviously leading 2-0, but England will be looking to make a comeback, especially after the comments they have made after the second test. Very, very interesting week ahead of us in the cricketing world, as we could see Zimbabwe qualify for the ODI World Cup in India later this year, and the third Ashes test, as I mentioned. I think that's it for today. Wrong One episode 2. We discussed about. Do you have any other topics, Kevin?
I don't know. I would like to know what's your opinion on the
On
World Cup side. What are your 15 players?
Okay, so just let's have a quick 5 to 7 minute discussion on that. I have like messaged a couple of times on the group as well. I think 10 players are definitely in, provided everybody I speak right now, everybody I give the names right now are fit. It's Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, that's two. Virat Kohli is three. Shreyas Iyer is four if he's fit. You have KL Rahul at five. You have Hardik Pandya at six. Jadeja at seven. This is your top seven fixed. You have Jasprit Bumrah if he's fit, Mohammad Shami if he's fit. That's nine players there. Kuldeep Yadav is the 10th player there. Now you can see around whether you want one more pacer, and I think obviously one more pacer you need. I think that's Mohammad Siraj. So that's 11 there. Now the talk goes on to the spinners, and I think Akshar Patel should make the cut as the second finger spinner. So that's 12 there. That's 12. Three spots are open. Now you need a batter who can play multiple roles. And I think if Rishabh Pant was fit, would have been that perfect guy, because he can open the innings if necessary, can bat in the middle order if necessary, and can keep the wickets. But if he's not, obviously, if he is not available till the World Cup, then it's either Sanju Samson. Obviously, you might not consider him as an opener, but Sanju Samson could be that option, or Ishan Kishan. Again, Ishan Kishan has like a lot of issues with his batting, not his keeping. So that's something. So either Sanju Samson or Ishan Kishan becomes the 13th member, and then you would need another spinner. I think, especially with the pitches you're going to play on. I think that should be Chahal. So that's 14, and then one spot remains. You can either go with an extra batter or extra pacer, depending on what you think. Uh,
So
uh,
if in
yeah,
case, so who what is your preference?
for the 15th player. I think three pacers should be enough, especially with Hardik Pandya in the squad. And I would go with an extra batter. Then that guy could be Surya Kumar Yadav, or whoever is doing well at that point. But I think I would personally go with Surya Kumar Yadav.
Yeah, because I was asking you is because you didn't pick Surya Kumar and Yadav in your 15. So why are we
Yeah.
playing him then in the West Indies? So yeah,
No,
that
no,
was
no. At the moment he is the option, right? I mean, Sanju is also going to play this. The thing is, why I'm preferring Sanju over Surya is because if say KL gets injured, you can quickly replace Sanju with KL. Uh, Even if Shreyas gets injured, you can replace Shreyas with Sanju. Surya will become just the extra batter, whereas he won't be able to keep wickets, and you don't have any other keeper in the squad, if I'm not wrong.
yeah.
Like the
So I
yeah.
hope India has the same clarity for that matter
Mhm,
because
mhm,
I agree with your 11
mhm.
with your 12 players.
Yeah.
I would like to pick yes Chahal as my 13th. 14th I would pick in uh, a keeper that is Sanju Samson who
Okay.
I'll back him in case if you require to open with him. I think he has the same kind of talent and he can play the same game Rohit Sharma is playing. I think
Yeah.
what we expect from Rohit Sharma, I think that is something that Sanju Samson can give us if
Mhm,
he's back.
mhm,
So those
mhm.
two are my backup to two players. I would like to pick in maybe one more. So I would not pick an extra batsman. I like to pick in a bowler for that matter because I think if a batsman is injured, I think we you can just straight away rule him out and pick in a new replacement. I don't think we're going to tweak in with the players in the 15. So I would like to pick I think Arshdeep as a backup,
Okay, okay.
and I think I have one more spin. I think that so Chahal Samson.
Are you picking Akshar Patel in your 15?
Yeah, he's my 12. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So
So
Akshar
even you
Arshdeep.
have like four spinners in Jadeja, Akshar, Kuldeep, and Chahal are the four spinners.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, and then the pacers you are going in with are Mohammad Siraj, Mohammad Shami, Jasprit Bumrah, and Arshdeep Singh. So
Yes.
that's eight ballers there. Hardik Pandya is your nine, and then the top six, which we Jadeja is your sorry, that's eight. You have Hardik Pandya nine. You have Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli. That's 12. You have Shreyas Iyer 13, KL Rahul 14, and then Sanju Samson 15. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. Absolute sense. Okay.
But you know Indian cricket, they're going to now start looking out who's going to be our left arm seamer, and they would like to try to bring in Arshdeep Singh. I don't know why they've dropped him. So then towards the
No, but the thing with the left arm seamer is you
who's
have
going to
only
bowl
two
in the dead?
options. Who's going? It's Jasprit Bumrah. I mean, Jasprit Bumrah and Siraj, and I mean even Shami bowled well in the IPL at the death. So I
But
think that
50 over cricket is different.
yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. The key here is that Jasprit Bumrah has to be fit for the World Cup because if he's not fit, that's a huge dent again to the and fit. I mean, at his absolute best, you can't have him like 80%, 70, 80% fit, and then try and play him like 9 World Cup games. That's not something which you would expect him to go through, especially after a back surgery. So that's key. Again, Shreyas Iyer's injury is a key. If Shreyas Iyer is not fit, you have to replace him with say Surya Kumar Yadav. So those are the two key members there. Even KL Rahul, we don't know whether he's fit or not. Like right now, he's obviously not fit, but I expect him to be fit before the World Cup. So that's something which India needs to think. I think the top three is fixed, and the top three looks solid. Once Rohit Sharma comes back in form, I mean, you want Shikhar Dhawan to open the innings, but I think if Rohit Sharma is in form, I think this is the top three which you will be looking forward to for the World Cup because Gill and Kohli have been in terrific touch over the last 6 to 8 months
Yeah, I
in
think
white
Rishabh
ball
got a
cricket.
century, right? In the ODI
Sorry,
series, he just
who,
got a century in the ODI series against New Zealand, right?
who, who?
Rohit Sharma.
Yeah, he got one in the home ODI series against New Zealand. Yeah, he got one. Yeah, yeah, and Gill got a double hundred and 100, and Kohli got two against Sri Lanka, if I'm not wrong. Two ODI centuries against Sri Lanka, one against Bangladesh, obviously. So yeah, Rohit Sharma hasn't been in the greatest of forms, but I expect him to be back in form when he plays
What are
for
the
plays.
totals that we're looking at? Because we heard this talk about playing aggressive cricket and different style, but we saw it
No,
then
that talk
it's not
never
applicable in the
changes.
World
You
Cup.
ask any Indian player, in any Indian captain, he will say we are looking to play aggressive cricket. Nobody will come out and say that we are looking to play defensive cricket.
Yeah,
But
because I thought
I,
it was cover up for the failures of the top
yeah,
order
yeah, yeah,
going out
yeah.
cheaply. So that's why I asked.
Yeah,
What
but are you
totals are we
asking
looking at?
about the World Cup totals for the World Cup?
Yeah.
I think it will be around 270, 280. I'm not expecting 350, 360 kind of totals because, especially the pitches India is going to play on, I'm expecting them to turn because you see, they have scheduled some of the matches. Like against Australia, Chennai is a very dangerous match because Australia have Zampa and Agar. And in fact, if I'm not wrong, we lost the third ODI at Chennai where Zampa and Agar picked up like 5 wickets between them. So if I'm not wrong, that's going to be a dangerous fixture for India. I think it's the first fixture, so India have to be on their A game if they want to win, because our players are not that good against spin as well. Zampa and Agar have been quite good, and then we need our spinners to get those wickets, especially Smith.
How do you rate India's spin department as compared to
I
the other
think
teams?
the spinners are good, but we don't play spin well enough.
No, across all
Is my
teams, like how do you think is
No, if
is
Jadeja, Akshar, Kuldeep, and Chahal is a spin attack, I think that's fantastic.
no, but you
That's
can play only two or three, so
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think three can play depending on the conditions. So if three, I would go in with Jadeja, Akshar, and Kuldeep,
okay.
because you get batting with Akshar as well.
Because why
But
I asked you is you don't have an off spinner, right? So
yeah, yeah, true, true.
and you don't have
So
a
against the left-handers, you would face
and
an issue, is
against a
what you're
team like
saying.
Australia, I think how many left-handers they have? They got like Warner,
They have Warner,
Khwaja, they got
Head.
Head.
I don't think Khwaja is playing.
I think he'll be there in the backups. He's a very
Backups
good
is
player.
fine.
So
He's not playing in the first 11. It's
I,
Warner and Head, in my opinion, and Carey at number six, whatever he bats at.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think this team, Australia has a good spin attack. I think New Zealand has a decent spin attack. Santner and Sodi,
Yeah, South
Brace.
Africa is a good.
Yeah, South Africa have Maharaj and Shamsi. England has Rashid and Moeen Ali. So yeah, there are good spinners around, but I think India's spin attack as well will be right up there. But you said we don't have an off spinner. I don't think Ashwin is the option right now, and Sundar, from what we saw in the IPL with his injuries and all, I don't think he's there. So
Yeah, I think
yeah, I
you have
don't
to
see an
back
off
up
spinner.
Shane.
I don't see any off spinner getting in the squad unless there is something drastic change in the next 4 months. But yeah, let's see. I think that's it for Wrong One episode 2. We will keep this discussion going on as we build up towards the ICC Cricket World Cup 2023. It's going to be a fantastic tournament. The schedule is out, so the tickets will be out in a week or two, is what I'm hearing from my producers. Yeah, yeah, just in my ear. Just joking. We don't have any producers. We don't have money. Who will give us? But yeah, I have heard that Kevin is charging 10 lakhs per episode. Just the fact is that he's not getting paid. Having said that, that's it for episode 2. We will be back next week, hopefully on a Saturday or a Sunday, to discuss the third Ashes test and the build up towards the first test between India and West Indies. At the moment, be ready for the third Ashes test. Thank you very much. Do like, share, and subscribe, and keep watching Cricket Adda. Thank you very much.